traveling in neat formations. They look more like migrating geese than instruments of death and destruction. Nearly 50 years ago, B-17s from the 305th Bomber Group flew over places like Schweinfurt, Leipzig, and Munich. Mike Shue tells us that this year they landed in Indianapolis for a museum dedicated in their honor.
Almost 250,000 heavy, medium, and light bombers crossed and recrossed the English Channel.
On any mission that wartime, you weren't convinced it was going to be a milk run. Everybody was scared. You know, they were always scared. And I always was more scared of flak than anything else, figuring that one burst right out in front of your nose and you figured the next one might get you.
It did get many of the aviators of the 305th Bomb Group. 787 never returned from Europe. These are the ones who did. Now an annual reunion to bring back memories almost 50 years old.
I was 19 years old when I went overseas, and it makes quite an impression. Those are formative years in your life.
I was the tail gunner on the B-17. Always saw where I'd been, never where it was going. The teamwork that we had to rely on one another. I protected the tail, and I had someone up front protecting me.
During those days when we were flying, you'd see a friend, and maybe next week you won't see him, and he's gone.
To honor those living and dead, a museum on the grounds of the successor, the 305th Aerial Refueling Wing at Grissom. The centerpiece, a B-17 painted in the group's colors.
The triangle, black triangle, stands for 40th Combat Wing. The G, letter G, is for the 305th Bomb Group.
This plane was paid for by war bonds collected from the citizens of Philadelphia. Its pilot from nearby named her.
So I wrote my mother a V-mail. I said, I think we're going to name it Miss Liberty Bell.
J.J. McDonald, here a man in his late 20s. He flew 51 missions in the war and received the Distinguished Flying Cross, or DFC.
I'm being presented here at Grissom, my DFC, because it was sent to me a month after I was out of the service.
There are a couple of thousand 305th veterans who could come here, men in their 70s and 80s who, as they die off, are remembered for the service to their country by those who remain. Mike Shue, News Center 13.
Okay. Yeah, good. They won't get me out of there.
Tight as you can,
Hurry, because it says fight. How you put the ground?
Take two, one for tomorrow. Yeah, take a couple. Yeah. Scrapbook's getting full of them.
Okay, fellas, get moving on either side so the others can come into the front. Okay, 65th, get up there.
You can't call for race.
Yeah.
Thanks to the 305th Grissom Airport.
and reflect on the great, great history of the wonderful 305th Bomb Group. This is a great day. We are so glad to be here, and we are ever so grateful. Thank you.
And anything that I could do on canvas would pale in comparison to the things that you folks did some 50 years ago. Thank you.
And now let us prepare for a time of meditation.
And we thank you for this country. We thank you for your presence here today. We thank you for safe journeys. Be with us as we come together to remember, to talk, to renew acquaintances. Be with us, Lord, as we take this day to make it a very special one. Amen.
For the 305th men, family, and friends who are here today from across our nation, I only wish that all of our members could be here this day. But those absent are in our thoughts and our prayers. We are also pleased that members of the 305th Air Refueling Wing, friends at the Heritage Museum, and friends in the Kokomo community are joining us in this memorial service. May all of us leave here today with special memories and a renewed spirit of love and dedication in our lives.
We salute those who were captured, those who are missing, those who suffered mentally and physically, and those 787 members who gave their lives. Today we gather to commemorate the members of the 305th group and to lift up the memories of their deeds and sacrifice to our God, the God which loves and comforts to those who remain, the God which gives compassion and love to each, even in the dark night of wandering, the God who understands our desires when we still pray today for peace. We honor and salute all members in the name of God, who certainly loves you all. May God give for those who gave so much and who gave all peace. And may God give peace to you, you who are here today, and who has also given so much, much, much peace. Amen. Amen.
Arnold, Raffateer, William Ball, Charles Bowling, Joe Brown, Forrest Clark, Merrill Kaufman, David Cohen, Dean Coick, Richard Cook, Maurice Kuhn, Jesse Cruikshank, James Foley, Larry Dieterle, Andrew Dudzik, Niles Foster, Lester Cooch, John Gunter, George Hack, Henry Harden, Joseph Healy, Samuel Hobgood, Everett Hoffman, John Hopp, Arl Hunger, Daniel Johns, Sid Jolly, S.A. Kaczynski, Richard Carco, Dennis Kellerman, Charles Latham, General Curtis LeMay, Philip Malesic, Cleo Marlowe, Norman Marsh, William Martin, Leon Messler, Robert Nye, Cleo Olson, Arthur Post, Homer Ramsey, Paul Reller, Ray Rhodes, Ernest Riccocchio, Edward Schmidt, Clarence Schmucker, Lawrence Giba, Sidney Smith, Russell Stanley, John Stepanek, Norman Swedberg, Gerald Tompkins, Victor Verna, Harold Youngren. Grieve not because of their passing, but there's only a gateway between the shadow from this garden of life, sunshine, and the shadows, and God's garden of love that's unseen.
We especially remember with pride and sorrow those 787 valiant comrades that gave their lives in a just crusade, winning a hard-fought victory. For they are the true heroes of the 305th. May they, Lord, dwell in your house forever in peace, pride, and tranquility. And finally, Lord, as we conclude this memorial service and dedication of our Heritage Museum, bless this gathering of comrades, old and new, their families, dear friends, and let all present renew their bonds of love and friendship, adding this to a meaningful day and to our treasury of memories. Amen.
Color guard, retire the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the formal part of today's ceremony. Thank you very much for joining us today for this grand occasion. We ask that you stay in the area here for a few moments and board the buses at about 12:30 today. They'll take you over to Hangar 200 for the luncheon buffet. There's no rush, but the luncheon is first come, first served. So thank you very much.
The courage, coolness, and skill displayed by Sergeant Donald on all these occasions reflect the highest credit for himself and in
Oh, I know how.
All right. Congratulations. Very
Yes,
proud
sir.
of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, sir.
Congratulations.
Right, sir. Oh, boy, there's a second verse I don't know.
Pardon me, folks. Are you from in town?
Yes, we are.
Which way is north? Thank you.
What are you guys doing in town here, huh?
Well, we're just celebrating.
You're celebrating?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you're celebrating. You're having a good time, in other words.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, that's good to see.
Goodbye, Jim.
Bye-bye.
Look like him standing up.
Boy. Thank you very much.
The last few years, and without him, we couldn't have done everything we done at Heritage Museum either. He's been a great help, and I just can't say enough for you. All we can say, Larry, is thanks on presenting you the plaque.
What does it say?
There's a little, this is, by the way, this is a replica of the plaque that we have at the Air Force Academy. I think most of you have seen this. Thank you.
And that is, nobody kicks ass without a tanker gas.
Feel the same way, you know, meeting these fine young men, and I call them all young men, is a real privilege, and I'm convinced that we are really in good hands, really good hands. Steve Short. Thank you again, John. See who's been carrying the short end of the gavel. And Hank, it's a great pleasure to turn it over to you. Next, our second vice president will pass forward. Let's see if I get all my stuff here. Horace Rice will present his piece of the gavel to John Collins.
John, it's a pleasure for me to hand you this. It's not a stick, it's not a shaft, it's a handle to the gavel.
I heard this morning, remember at the meeting? I'm going to pass this on to John Carusi, but before I do, I just want to give my thanks to all of you for supporting me the past year. I've had more fun doing this. I worked hard, but I sure had fun. And I'll be glad when I can just turn this over to John Carusi, regardless. Well, John, I present you the big one here.
Well, I finally get one that has some authority in it. Man, I like that. Meeting is adjourned.
Getting pictures of everybody here.
Everyone.